Hello, 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 everyone. This is HQ again. Our topic today is what's wrong with me being a divestor? What's wrong with me being a divestor? There are many reasons why people are divestors. It could be that you're just divesting from the toxic ideology in the black community. Typically, the black women think it's spread by the men who hate black women who desire better for themselves. They desire better for themselves, for black women, and they only date white men. That's not particularly true. Divesting and swirling are two different things. Swirling means you actually date outside your race. That's what swirling means. Divestors, they deprive themselves of the toxicity that is in the black community. They move away from the toxicity. They move away from the stereotypes. And then they don't give support to the community anymore. I don't know whether they stay outside of the community or they come back into the community. Does that work? I mean, it would be interesting to find out. People think swirling and divesting are the same thing, but they're not. I wanted to hear from divestors. Why did you disengage from the community? Why was the community so toxic that you decided that you were just gonna not be there anymore? And I get it. One of the things that is a symptom, I guess, may be you dating outside of your race. But the divestors can be male and female. That's what a lot of people don't understand. They think divestors are just women. Divestors are men too. I won't say that divesting is the same as the passport bros. I won't say that, but maybe it could be. I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out whether you think the divestors are the same as the passport bros, right? Divesting also means you leave black men alone and only date white men. That's what people think. But that's not true. She's only, or they're only, not dealing with that particular aspect of their community anymore. And I saw this other day. It was Asian women. That B4 movement is almost like a divester movement, right? But not particularly here in the United States, but divester movement all over the world. And that's one of what they consider their B4 movement. They're getting away from all that's going on with their men, with their culture, the toxic relationships that they have with those with the opposite sex. Okay. The whole point of this conversation is to hear from those people who understand you didn't just leave our culture because of black men or black women. You left our culture because of a lot of things, other things besides that, right? We date outside our race for various reasons. We all do. Who's to say who's attractive and who's not to us? Maybe the divester reasons force us over there to date other people. It forces us into dealing with other races. But there's a difference between divesting because of the toxicity of our race and going over and swirling. and then denigrating your own race. Okay. And we have a lot of people on this internet here who are divestors. But they are the ones who all are always saying, well, we're not swirling, we're divesting. But it just so happens to be a lot of divestors are swirlers. Because mostly we see a lot of divestors with white men. We see a lot of divestors with white women. And I want to understand, what would drive you to be out and be a divestor? Or explain to us, what is the difference? Because I see the words being interchanged, right? Divestor and swirling. Now, swirling is swirling. That means that you're dating white, Hispanic, black, whatever. But you're interchanging the men or the women. And there's nothing wrong with that if you find beauty within all of these races. There's nothing wrong with finding beauty in all of these races. It's when I have a problem, it's when you are white or you're black or you're Asian or whatever, and you denigrate your own race and say, well, this race is better than this race. Well, my own race is black, and so other women of other races are better than my own race. I have to explain something because you have to explain it. A lot of people, this is something that has to be said. Men and women are the same all over the world. I don't understand why people don't understand that. Different cultures, different backgrounds, but that doesn't mean we don't have the same reactions when faced with similar problems. And her reaction is going to be better than my reaction, or his reaction is going to be better than his reaction. I mean, this is your totality of experiences, desires, wants. Your reactions come from there. I mean, I've dated people with accents, without accents, United States, outside the United States, and men respond the same way. One group of people is no better than the other. That's the problem that we have. Okay, male behavior, women behavior, all the same everywhere you go. Little nuances here and there. But if you slap me or you tell me I'm ugly or you do any of those things, we're all going to react similarly. Okay. And it's a terrible thing when we find out that we're less attractive to your men, your counterpart men. That's a damaging thing to find out that we are considered less attractive. And I find that that's something within your race or something within you that would even think to say something like that. You don't like the behaviors of the people in your race. You don't like the behaviors of the people in your circle, your family, community, whatnot. But you can't damn all of us with the same brush because it doesn't work that way. I am nothing like a person, relationship. I am nothing like, I have the basic responses, of course, just like every other female. But you can't say because Sally is ratchet and ghetto, that means I'm going to be ratchet and ghetto too, just because Sally and I are both black. That's not how that works. Just like I don't look at black men and say, oh, well, all black men, none make money and none are smart and none think critically or logically. I don't, and only white men do. I don't think that way. That's why we have to take people individually. And I think a lot of people get the divestors mixed up because they believe the divestors think their men are less than other men. And I'm sure it's a movement, and this movement has been going on for a while. And I'm hoping the women have thought critically since they've been out of the market and dating other races. They have gotten out of the market of dating black men, that they understand that there's beauty in all men. There's beauty in all races. And then there's degeneracy in all the other races as well. Because this is terrible when you get into a relationship and you find out that the person that you're involved with hates their own race, or hates their women from their own race, or hates their men from their own race. And I found this situation fascinating because it's always women who get the brunt of this. She doesn't like our race. She's dating a white man. Blah, blah, blah. And that's not necessarily true. I mean, the beginning of this divestment period, it was women who didn't want to be involved in the toxic traits of the black community. Okay. It's about living your best life, living the best possible life that you can, regardless of whether you're black, white, or whatever. The investors just want to have the best life that they can have, regardless of whether their partner is black, white, Hispanic, or whatever, right? It's the goal is to live a well-rounded, beautiful life and explore whatever the world has to offer. Has nothing to do with whether you're black, white, or Hispanic. I mean, I know because I've been involved with black men, white men, whatever kind of men. And I know they're all the same response wise. Different cultures, different attitude, da 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 da. But we respond the same. And if you have assholes in one race, you're going to have assholes in the next, depending on how you respond and how you conduct yourself, right? And a lot of people feel like, oh, okay, you're a divester because you're black and you're dating a white man. That sometimes that has nothing to do with it. Women all over the world want to be treated fairly, lovingly, wantingly. Okay. And it's not about whether she wants to be the richest on the block or the better than someone on the block, or it's never about that. People say, okay, a woman is hypergamous. Of course. I'm never gonna lie about it. Never gonna lie and say that's not the case. Most women are. She wants the best product. She wants the best man that she can get. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting the best man, the best human being. The best human being. There's nothing wrong with that. Just like men want the best woman that they can get. And if that means that you divest, if that means you look elsewhere for that particular person, so be it. So divestors, swirlers, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear something. And there is such thing as a male divester. Okay. There's a such thing as male divestors. So we'd love to hear from somebody who dates outside the race, who doesn't have a problem doing that, who doesn't denigrate their race, but they find interesting and exotic examples of someone outside of their race that they're just attracted to. Divesting from the community is not necessarily always negative. It's just people trying to get the best opportunities that they can, regardless of race. And I can understand that. I can understand that completely. But people say, "Oh, she's a divester. She's trying to get away from the black men. She's trying to get away from. He's trying to get away from the white man." I hear that all the time from the passport bro. Passport bro. Well, we just got to go overseas and we got to find somebody. That's not a major movement to find women. It's a major movement to find sex. But I'm not convinced that you men, passport bros, are going overseas to find women and wives. I'm just not convinced. It's not a convincing argument because every time we get into a discussion or we go into a chat room where there's passport bros, most of them are there talking about sex, not trying to find a wife. But we have found a group of the divester women on the internet that are very closed off and hateful. Sometimes they're not open to talking about why they have hatred towards their own race, why they have hatred towards their skin tone. Not all of them are going to think the same. Not all of them are going to be the same or have the same reasons for why they left the community or want to leave the community. But our whole point, the point is to hear from a passport bro or to hear from a divester female to get a better understanding of why someone would just completely leave their whole family or their community and say, I'm not dealing with these people at all. I remember going into I think it was the Vester's chat room or her panel, but I didn't get on the panel. I was just in the chat, right? And I was hearing such hurtful things regarding our brothers. I was hearing such hurtful things, being called tree barks or I cannot really remember what I was listening to. It was just so hate filled. And I guess I never thought that I would hear that side of hatred. You hear hatred on this side from some white people who don't like black people. But I had never heard black people who had women who actually hated black men. I had never heard that until I got on that panel. I got in that chat room, I'm sorry. And I said, I didn't know that it was such hatred online. Is this what a divester does? Does a divest is that what the is their room is there are their chats full of people who don't like themselves, don't like other black people? Is it a cult? Is it cult like? And it's like you're chastised for not being on that side. If you're not completely divested, you're not completely full of hatred, you full of toxicity. No, I wasn't. No, this is when I first came to the internet. When I first came here, which was last year, about maybe a year and a half ago. And I was trying to find a community, trying to find somewhere, where did I belong? Did I belong? But I didn't know it was called divestors. I didn't know that's what it was. So I just followed. No, how I got on the internet was I was interested in black women speaking about empowerment of black women, right? How do we get to that those kind of chats? So you look around, you find around, and I just ended up in this chat, in this panel chat. And these women were talking about doing this and doing that, and then all of a sudden I heard someone say, black ass bark, and he has a log and black, you know, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe black women were talking like that about black men. I had no idea because I had never heard a black woman speak about black men like that in my life. And I ended up on the women empowerment side of YouTube, and that's an extreme side. So I was like, okay, so these divestors, they say they're just trying to divest from the community, divest from the toxicity of our community. But over there, they were talking about it was like they had adopted the white supremacist uh, talking points regarding black men. Okay, while I understood the overall message, right, I couldn't get with the self-hating or the black men racial slurs that were going in and out of that conversation. And it was like, if you've been so hurt by black men, why would that even be a concern for you to even have a conversation? Like minded women were over there and they just had the most wild circumstances. And so I was thinking about that other day. There's no way that that can be a representative of the women who date outside of our race. And the way we hear men, the passport men, talk. Well, black women are only like this, and black women are only like that. That's not the case. See, I'm one of those people that I don't listen to talking points because I know that those are lies. I know that those are generalizations that don't apply to every woman. We have beautiful women out here, regardless of whether they have children or not. There are beautiful women out here who have beautiful souls, who have beautiful personalities, who have beautiful just countenance all the time. And then there's beautiful men out here the same, who have good personalities, who want to be providers, who can be providers, who are just looking for that opportunity. But then we have those divester people, passport bros, somewhat of the divester group for men, and the women who were over there calling black men names. Okay. But nobody wants to be a part of a group that's negative, who downgrades their own race. Because I don't want to go anywhere where someone calls me a black ass, blah, 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 or whatever. Nobody wants to do that. So that's why I wanted someone to call in and explain to me, what is this divest, Jesus, I always have a problem with that word. What is the movement of these divestors? Passport bros, excuse me, passport bro movement, and the female divester movement. Explain it. Explain what it does, what it empowers in you to call your counterpart and say your counterpart is not worthy of attention. Okay? Swirling is different. Swirling is just dating outside your race. That's all swirling is. Dating outside your race. And many normal, everyday, average people date outside their race. If you have the opportunity, right? If you have the opportunity. Okay. If you appeal to the other races. Okay. It just is what it is. Some of us have that opportunity, some of us don't. Some of us don't even want it. I have a girlfriend who says, I never date a white dude. I never date a white dude. I just love my black kings. I said, if all your black kings was whooping your ass, you'd be over there dating them white boys because you didn't want your ass whooped every day, right? So I never say that I'm never, ever, ever going to date somebody that's Asian. It's a long shot. It's a long shot. But if it was just me and a bunch of Asians in the world, men left on the planet, I guess I just have to go over there and, you know, I just have to go over there and stand above them, right? Because it's very rare that I'll find someone that will be my height, or they probably might be my height, but that's about it. Never taller, right? So I'm saying never say never in all of these things. But it's a joke. But it's an interesting concept that the passport bros have said. Let me get my passport. That's not a deterrent for us. That's not a deterrent for women to act right. Divesting is not a deterrent for the men to act right. We have degeneracy in all races. We have people who act up in all races. So it cannot just be someone saying, "Oh, only women jump over there and date men outside of their race. Only women do that." Because we have it all over the place, right? We have it all over the place. And the problem is nothing. Well, I guess it's not a problem because it is what it is. All of us, all of us can find positivity outside of our race. Mhm. All of us can do that. But the whole point is, are you denigrating your race just to go outside the door, outside and deal with someone else? Okay. If you're doing that, then I say you're misguided in your attempts at dating, attempts at making your life better. How is it how is it that your life is better or you feel better when you're bashing your own people? How does that make you even feel? How does that even work inside of your head to say, I'm never going to date black men? Wouldn't there be an issue inside of you if that's the case? If that is what you thought? Wouldn't that be an issue inside of someone? Wouldn't that be a difficult thing to live with? Because if I hated myself so much, or I hated my skin color so much, or I hated my race so much, my family so much, my people so much, wouldn't you have conflicting feelings inside of you that would make you less complete or less whole as a human being? Because I could never function, or I never understood why people could function and hate themselves. But all of your decisions would be colored by that hatred, right? And as I said, divesting, swirling, two different things. Swirling is there is no animosity towards your other race. Swirling is not no animosity towards your particular male gender or female gender or whatever. It's nothing like that. It's just the fact that you find this person who is of another race attractive. You find this person that's of another race attractive. Has nothing to do with hatred or anything else. Divestment, that might that might be somewhere in the realm of not wanting to be bothered with a person of your race. And I've seen that before. I've seen that on that panel, and that panel was terrible. Black ass monsters, you nasty, they look like Dookie, they blah blah blah. And I was like, what? What is that? What's going on? Hatred of the what? I couldn't even do it. I couldn't even do it. Somebody give me a call. Tell me what am I looking at wrong here? Why am I looking at why am I looking at divestors as though there's some mental there's some mental issues going on there? Why am I looking at it like that? When maybe it's not like that. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's something I'm not saying. Okay. And what experiences have you had with dating somebody that may have been outside the race who you thought was like goofy? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you kind of off. You over here telling me that I'm the best thing since sliced bread, and you over and your race is and you a different race. But you telling me I'm the best thing since sliced bread. But you telling me your race is trash. Okay. And I get it. People want to belong somewhere. They want to belong to something. Okay. They want to belong to somebody else. They want to belong to a movement. They want to do all of these things. But sometimes movements go astray. Movements go off the rails. Okay. The investment kind of went off the rails for the same reason. I mean, it was a grassroots thing. It gained popularity. People wanted to be a part of a group. Oh, yeah, I think our men are trash. Oh, yeah, I think our women are just trash. Nothing functions like that. Nothing, no woman wants to be over with a group of men who thinks she's trash, who thinks women are trash, who thinks his women are trash. Okay. Nobody wants to be over there. And no man wants to be in a relationship with a woman who doesn't respect him, who doesn't respect men and the issues and the problems that go along with being black in this country. And the problem is, we are at a stalemate. We're at a stalemate. People think divestment and what is that one movement? Independent movement. They think it's the same thing. Or they think it's close to the same thing. Oh, she wants to be independent. She wants to be this, that, and the other. So she wants to be free to do whatever. Yes, women just want to have choices. Just like men want to have choices. Men want to have the best choice that he can have. Women want the same thing. When you divest, that means you're divesting from the toxic ideology in the black community. And it's not necessarily just black women, black men too. I think part of the passport movement is that same thing. Let me get out of the country because the black women, they ain't acting right in the country. They doing whatever they got to do. They don't know how to act. So let me get out of this country. And black men telling women, or black men telling their black women, that they're the least desired. No other races would want them. That they're the last choice for them. Nobody believes that bullshit. because black women are race loyal, and I know that they are because I've spoken with many women, black women, and they say their first preference is black men. So that is a real thing. But we also want to be treated. Yes, running from Western women. Yes. But you very rarely hear that from the other races. You hear that running from women from the black men. You primarily hear that from the black men running somewhere, getting away. Our women are this. No, we don't have any good women here. We don't have any. What are you running from? The Western woman? What do you mean Western woman? What Western woman? What woman are you talking about? The whole world is modern. There are modern women all over every country. What are you running from? And then I bet you the passport men are finding that the women are the same overseas. They have high birth rates, high promiscuity there, dealing with more than one man at the same time. The same philosophy, the same mentality, the same characteristics, except you're over there. So sometimes you run over there as a passport bro, and then you find the same women. You women with bad attitude is all over the world, all over the world. Just like there are good women who have good attitudes over there, there's good women over here who have good attitudes. Okay. So I'm saying when you divest as a man, I don't mind you divesting as a man. Go ahead, do your thing, do your thing. But it's when you get involved with a woman or you get involved with the other race, denigrating your own race. Okay. You can be a passport bro, but you find out that the women are the same everywhere. You have to find one that's not toxic. And you can find one here in the United States just like you can find one overseas. Just like a female who is a divester can find one overseas just like she can find one here. There's good people everywhere in every country, and there's degenerates over there too. But we seem to think it's always greener on the other side. The other side is just the other side. It's not greener on the other side. There are billions of people on this planet. Billions. And you mean to tell me you, one lone black male, or you, one lone black female, cannot seem to find one good woman somewhere? One good man somewhere? In the country that you're from? As I was explaining to someone last show, if you can't find one good woman, that means the problem is you. Because every female that you run into, every male that you run into doesn't have the same attitude, doesn't have the same software. We got similar software, but it's not all the same software. So if you say to me, all the women, they just want to do the same thing. They want to do this, that, and the third. Da, 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 da. And I can't find no, that's you. That's you. Because I can live in Atlanta and go to New York and find a decent human being in New York. Find a good man in New York who's making 50, 60,000, who's ready to get on my program, who's ready to get on the program, who's ready to do what he needs to do to be a provider. And he don't have all this red pill stuff in the back of his mind. He just want a woman. He just want a decent woman that treats him right, don't cuss him out, give him sex 2 or 3 times a week, cook him some food, all that, rub his belly, and all that other good stuff. If you can't find that, you can't find one woman that want to help you pay bills. No, that's what they want you to think. The real look, this is HQ. Men think you get on their you like a man to think you get on his program. He If you don't want to be there, you ain't gonna be there, and he's gonna do whatever he has to do in order for you to be there. That means he gets on your program. The problem is, men these days have a problem with doing that. That's why we have the divide that we do. That's the reason why we have the divide in our community. Men are saying, I'm not finna get on her program, even though programs have worked from the beginning of time. Thousands of years, hundreds of years, 10 years, 1 year. Okay. And women getting on men's program, you get on each person's program, but that the honest to God truth is he's getting more on whatever you like as opposed to just what he likes. Okay. There's always a conversation. I have never thought that a woman has to get on a man's program completely, and I don't have a program. You think I don't have a program? You think we women don't have a program? You think it's all your program that she's getting on? What's your program? I would love to hear somebody's program. I would love to hear what you think. I would love to hear what you think is supposed to be your program and I'm supposed to get on that program. I'm just saying that's not how the world works. That's not how that works. People say, well, woman has to get on a man's program. I get it. I do. Hey, people got to follow something. All I'm saying is if your program is this particular, and people have programs. I'm not saying they don't. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is normal everyday people who want to get into a relationship, who want to have a stable relationship where they're equal co-partner and they're doing what they have to do to make the relationship work. It's a program for both people. Both people. It cannot be 90% your way and 10% her way. It cannot be that way because it never works. It has to be closer to 50-50. It has to be. There's no way for that to work. Because I know a strong-willed person, a man who is a strong-willed person, and a female that is a strong-willed person, they can be together as long as they understand there's a 50-50 thing that's going on. You have to give, she has to take. You have to give, she has to take, vice versa. It never works. It never works at 90%. It never works with you as the man having 90% and the woman has to come over and do what you do. That it never works. And I guarantee you, if that's the way you run your relationship, somebody's unhappy. Somebody's unhappy. Right? A man provides the umbrella in which a woman walks around underneath. You provide the umbrella. If that umbrella is too small, you will lose that woman. Full stop. A man provides the umbrella. And a woman walks around underneath that if she wants his protection. But if that umbrella is too small, you're going to lose that woman, especially if she is an independent woman Not independent as in I'm going to do what I want to do, but independent as in she works. She wants to be a complete human being. She wants to have contributions to society. She wants to have a say in the way their family structure runs. Full stop. If it's too small, it won't work. And and you have to have parameters. She has to have parameters, and so do you. But your parameters have to fit you and her, not just you. That umbrella has to fit you and her, not just you, not just what you want, not how you want it. She has to have a say in what goes on under that umbrella too. If she don't want to be under your protection, then she's not the woman for you. My husband provided the umbrella, and his umbrella was big enough where he knew I wasn't going to talk back to him. He knew I wasn't going to buck up to him because I'm not that type person. The way I'm talking to you all right now is the way I talk to my husband, because he was not the type of man that you bucked up to. You don't talk crazy to him. You don't say any of those things. He had he was always one of those this is the way it goes, and then I would say, okay, I don't think that's going to work, dear, because blah blah blah. And then he would say, you want, is that, but I want it this way. And I would say, well, we can't have it that way because of this. And then he'd come back and then he'd think about it. No, okay, it kind of makes sense. What do you think? And then we would negotiate that way. And that's the problem. You don't want women like that. So therefore, you go get women that are submissive, like in a different way. But I'm talking about a man who wants a partner who contributes to the relationship, who shows up fully as a woman, who shows up fully as a person that makes him think. I don't ever want a man who sits off in the corner and barks orders at me, and then I got to do exactly what he says, how he says it. And then I don't think. And I have no thought processes of my own. Otherwise, I got to worry about getting beat. I got to worry about getting cussed out. I got to worry about getting thrown out of the house. No woman wants that. No woman wants to have a relationship where she doesn't feel connected or as much of a partner as he is. It's never going to be 90 your way and 10% her way. It's never going to work. Okay? It's never going to work. It's always going to be 45, 55, 55, 45, and she's got to be an equal partner in this. And I get it. It's a talking point. Stop giving me talking points. As far as I'm going to go is a man provides the umbrella and the woman gets to walk around underneath that umbrella. But the umbrella has to be big enough to absorb her and his wants and desires. It cannot just be yours. It has to be hers too. Men say, well, I want to be the provider. I want to protect you. I don't want you to do this. See, when people do that, you stifle the other human being. And nobody wants to be stifled in a relationship because it doesn't work. That's a talking point, Lee Turner. It's still a man's world. We get that a man built all of this stuff. We get all of that. But you built it for me. You built it for me. You built it for us. Not just for you. You built it for us. Okay? And that's what people get to forget. You forget that you didn't just build this for you. You built it for us. You built a safe place for me to land. You built a safe place for me to be to love you freely and passionately here. And that's what people forget. You want me over there because I bring chaos or I bring peace to your war-torn brain. I bring something that you can't get on your own. And I get it. I get it. Well, we just don't need women. We just need women for sex. I get all of that too. But I think a lot of you all resent the fact that you have to have us in order to do what your function is to procreate. It's like you resent us. You resent us women because we have that power. And see, that's the whole thing. Stop resenting the fact that we have that power. Once men stopped resenting us for having that power and utilizing just us, using us for just that power, we would get along much better. I'm more than just a whole. And see, here's the thing. When you have an attitude like you only bring the 90 and the 10, this is how men walk out the door, or this is how women divest, or this is how men divest. Come up and have a conversation through the Fire podcast, TJ. I want to know where I'm wrong at. Why would I be wrong? I know relationships have to be 45-55. Otherwise, the umbrella is too small and it does not work. Unless you just have a submissive human being who doesn't want to stretch their imagination, who doesn't want to stretch their thought process, who doesn't want to stretch anything. Okay. I know that you cannot, no man who is an intelligent, who's a thinking man, who reads, who understands the world around him, wants a woman who doesn't think and contributes along the same route that he does. No man wants that. How do you function? I can't function with a dumb man. That's full stop. I can't function with a dumb man who doesn't think beyond his dick. I need you to be learning. I need you to understand, to have empathy and sympathy. And I need to have that too towards you. Understanding what your plight is, how you feel, how this might affect you. I need you to feel and do the same thing. That's how you have a 50-50, 45-55 relationship. It can never work with you having 90 and me having 10. It will never work. And if you look inside relationships that have went wrong, you will find something was lacking. Something was going wrong. This is why we have, for some god-awful reason, we have people in our community thinking, oh, well, let me jump over to the other race. You're going to find what you're looking for in the other race because that's what you wanted to do. That's where you wanted to jump. But you could have found the same thing in our race if you would have looked and your umbrella was big enough. Because when a man says, okay, she can't come outside dressed like that, blah, 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 blah. Case in point. This is a case in point. I keep bringing that dude up, but that Cooley dude, Fugazi dude, everybody is clowning him because this woman is over there wearing stretchy pants and showing her butt and all this stuff. And a lot of y'all are looking at him like, what you letting your woman do that for? It's not a matter of him letting his woman do nothing for. His woman is an independent human being. And this is not something that he concerns himself with, because it's not serious in their relationship. It's not a serious thing in their relationship, because he doesn't see it as a violation of their relationship. Maybe he has a little issue with it, but he understands in the overall bigger picture, they're there to get money. She's there to get money. And so therefore that's okay. But an overall picture, he understands. He understands why she's doing what she's doing. Everybody has a preference. Everybody has something that they like. I love dark-skinned men. That's my initial, off the cuff want and desire. But have I ever had a dark-skinned man? No. I've never had one dark-skinned man. I've had dark-skinned men. No, let me put that a different way. I've had dark-skinned men chase me, but I never preferred to want to chase them. I've never wanted them. Let's put it that way. So I've dated all. I've dated outside. I've dated inside. Black, Indian, white, you name it. But if you put me down on the ground and you chain me down, it would be a dark-skinned man. And I attract everything except that. Except the other day, some guy told me, you turn me on. It's like, I know that. But unfortunately, you don't do that for me, right? I didn't say that, but in my mind, I would have said that if I wouldn't have been able to get away from him, right? So my whole thing is this: divestors are not necessarily just going out and dating white men. Those are swirlers. Divestors are just trying to get away from the toxic relationship that we have with each other, that we have in our community, that maybe black women and black men have for each other. Swirling is just dating outside your race. And the closest thing I can think is maybe passport bros and those really hardcore divester ladies that are on that side. That's the only thing I can think. I wanted to hear from someone who might know, why do we divest? Why are we divesting? Why are we not talking to people within our race without jumping out and having something bad to say, toxic about the people that we deal with? But it is what it is. But we never know, because people date because of certain things. They date for different reasons. When you go out there and date, I expect men to say, well, a black woman never wants to get on the program. Yes, she does. She does. Divester. Yes, divester is not divester is somebody who just wants to get away from the toxic elements of our race. A swirler would be a person that exclusively dates white persons, white people, white men, Mexican men, whatever. That would be considered a swirler. I've dated a white person. I wouldn't consider myself a divester, because I don't have any hatred or animosity towards black men at all. And that's the thing. People who have animosity towards their race, may be a part of that divester group. I can never say that word. Okay. She said biracials be having identity crisis. I wonder why. I wonder why. I don't stop people from looking at me and dating me. If you're a good person and you're a good human being, then you should date them, regardless of whether they're white, black, Hispanic, or whatever. You should date whoever comes your way, because you never know if that's the love of your life. You never know if that's the type of person that would ever make you happy. You never know. Do you think I wanted to be on this planet at the age of 50, however old I am, 56, 57, something like that? You think I wanted to be on this planet single? You think I wanted to be on this planet out here trying to figure out, do I have enough? Is his umbrella big enough for me to be me? Is he going to try to stifle me from being the person that I am? Do you think I wanted to be out here at this age? No, God had other plans for my husband. Right? So therefore, here I am. Here I am trying to navigate, you know, God has all kinds of, God has plans, I guess. Higher power has plans for me. Higher power has plans. I don't know whether he's going to bring a white guy or a black guy or a mixed guy. I don't know what he's going to bring. I don't know what he's going to bring to the table for me. I'm saying I don't have any animosity or hatred towards my black brother because I go out and date somebody that's white. I date if a person should date if that person treats you nice. Like I told my girlfriend, she said, I ain't never gonna date no black man. She said it to me a couple weeks. I ain't never gonna date no white man. I never do that. And I said, what if all black men, every time you got near them, popped you in the eye? What if you got punched in the eye by every black guy that you ever got near? Wouldn't you stop going near black men? So then you would date somebody that wasn't black because you wouldn't want to get yourself popped in the eye, right? So I'm saying never say never. But there's so many black men on this planet that should never be an issue for her. And that's why I said to Leon the other night, Leon, how is it that you ain't found a woman in all these years? You ain't found a woman in all these years because it's you that's the problem. It's you that's the problem. Your umbrella was too small. No woman can fit under that umbrella with you. I mean, just imagine that inside. Just imagine that in a picture. Picture it in your mind. The man has the umbrella, and you're standing underneath it. But the umbrella is so small that you got to stand right next to him and do what he say. Don't move. Don't talk. Don't wear no. Don't let your titties hang out. Don't let your ass hang out. Don't say this. Don't say that. You gotta be submissive. The umbrella is so small that you got to stand right there. But imagine him having a bigger umbrella where you get to walk around and dance and be who you are. And the only rule is stay under my umbrella. That's the way I look at relationships. That's how I look at relationships that work and ones that don't. When the man's covering is too small for the woman, she's going to buck underneath it, and he's not going to be able to keep her. And that's how relationships die. deaths, and you wonder why it didn't work. Think about what you brought to the table. Think about your umbrella. As a man, think about your umbrella. As a woman, think about what type of umbrella or what size umbrella that you can live with. I can't live with a man who's religious. I can't live with a man who's firmly religious. I know that for a fact. I know that because I'm not religious in that way. Nothing wrong with religion. But every time I turn around, you're telling me you need to repent. You know, you can't have your ass out. You know, you can't do that. The Bible says this. The Bible says that. Every time he says something like that, I can't live with that person. So therefore, his umbrella is too small for me. So therefore, I would be running out from under that umbrella every 5 minutes, and then that relationship would never work. So therefore, you have to find a man whose umbrella is big enough. The minute you find out his umbrella is not big enough, that's when you bounce. And when I mean umbrella is big enough, I mean rules that you can't live with, rules that buck up against what you believe, rules that don't work for you as a human being. Nobody should be curbing your impulses. You should be curbing those impulses. And those impulses should be able to live under that umbrella. If they can't, then you need to get out of that relationship. And people say, well, men are toxic because they have the what is that called? The red pill, the red, they do this and you got to do it. No, those talking about, I have not seen one man on this panel that can show me that this red pill stuff works. I have not seen one man who can show me that you can give me 3, 4, 5 of those red pill points and a woman is following those red pill points. We know it's not working because that goofy coolie is over there and he's not following the red pill talking points that he's been saying. And you can't tell me he ain't happy where he at. Cooley happy over there. Y'all ain't finna mess up his happiness. His woman showing her ass. He doing what he gotta do. They doing that goofy stuff over there. They doing that black and white dynamic over there. He happy over there. Show me one young dude that's on here that subscribes to them talking points, them YouTube red pill talking points, and I show you a liar. Maybe one, but you ain't implementing all of those. So I'm saying maybe these are the reasons why we have people falling out of our community. I mention your name, Leon. I mention your name because you have a rigid set of criteria. And I said, because your criteria is so rigid, no woman, and your umbrella is so small, no woman wants to get under your umbrella. Think about that before you go ham, because you seem like you like to go ham all the time. Maybe your umbrella is too small for a woman to get underneath. Every human being can get. I'm not. I said every man and woman can get another human being. It's a matter of whether what your umbrella is. Your umbrella is your standards and everything else. That's your standards. That's what you want. Maybe your standards, maybe your umbrella is too small for the woman that you want. Maybe that's why don't have a woman. Something is off, because every person can get another person. It depends on what you're, as a man, it depends on your umbrella, what size it is. You get to talking about she can't do this, she can't do that, she can't. It's all about what she can't do. All I'm hearing is she can't do this. She can't do this. She can't wear this. She can't do that. She can't go outside. She can't talk to no friends. She can't have no single friends. She can't have no male friend. All I hear from these red pill people is what she can't do. Can't. And I ain't seen nothing about what she can do, what you need her to do, how you need her to be. She need to be submissive. No woman is submissive off the bat. No woman is ever going to agree to that, period. Unless you're an imbecile, you would never agree to be submissive to no man until you figured it out. No, I'm just, Leon, I'm not saying I know about you. What I'm saying is the first thing that you mentioned when you came up here to talk to me was these women and these babies having babies out of wedlock. You should never, at the age of 55, be talking about a woman and children, because you way out of pocket. You way out of pocket with that. And you've been on this planet long enough to see good and decent women. You've been on this planet long enough to see good and decent women. Why are you worried about bastards? You're 55. You shouldn't be dealing with anybody who has anything other than grandkids. You don't qualify for a single female that don't have no kids. What are you talking about? That's all you're going to run into. Women close to your age is women with kids. Grandkids, no less. You should never mention nobody kids. You should just be looking for a woman who knows how to shave her snatch and suck dick. Why are you worried about whether she got kids or whether she had kids out of wedlock or whether she wasn't married? You should never worry about nothing like that. You too old to be worried about that. You worry about them two things. Whether she gonna shave, wash her ass, and do this, that, and that's all you worry about. Don't worry about whether she got kids or not. She can have 30 kids. You want a woman around your age. See what I'm saying? You out here spouting these talking points and they don't even apply to you. Stop it. Men that are 40, you already know childbearing years happen under the age of 40. You out here looking for somebody that got kids. You got kids. What do you mean, said the 26-year-old that called me? Yeah, she didn't see you on the Kinder cam. That's why she called you. Don't get it twisted. You ain't the top tier. Stop it. I love you, Leon, but you good at maybe a 4 or below. Stop it. Get to your level. Your level is a grandmama over the age of 45. She got plenty of kids. She already got enough kids. Stop worrying about whether she was a hoe when she was young. You stop worrying about that. You need a hoe because you ain't had none. I'm confused. You want to take a dirt nap without even smelling the snatch, or you want to talk crazy over in the corner. I'm just saying. Actually, she came over. How much did you pay her? That's the whole point. Paying doesn't count. Because she ain't coming over there dealing with you in that goddamn checkered robe that you got on and screaming at the top of your lungs about religion. Ain't no woman going over there. Tricking don't count. You got to be a decent human being. Start with that. Start with a decent human being. That's when the umbrella is fully extended that you have, is that you just be a good human being. Stop worrying about why she's over there. Be a good human being. Don't offer her money right off the bat. Because if you offer her money right off the bat, she got any kind of, I'll take it and I'll run. And you know you ain't chasing no young girls. Okay, if you ain't paying for none, that means you ain't getting none. Because you pay. Some of y'all just in that lane. I ain't mad at you, and I ain't trying to, I ain't saying, I'm just saying. I saw your room. I saw where you live. So since we all saw where you live, and we all saw we saw you in that role, you paying. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Know your lane. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Ain't no woman dating 26-year-old. He said a 26-year-old called him. Is he lying or is he not lying? Maybe she did. But if I was 26 and I called you, you would have to cash at me some money first. That's if I was bogus and I was 26. You don't chase. He don't. Leon, every sentence that you put on here is more pathetic than the last one. There's no reason. But I'm just trying to, look, I don't need to read. No, I don't need. Okay, I don't need to read you. We were on divestment and the umbrella. I'm not trying to read nobody, but if you make me go there, I take us all there. So I'm saying, I said it live on the SBC. You said what? Leon, do you really want me to find you a female? Because I'm unavailable. I have to field too many offers already. I had a dude. I walked up to him this morning, and he was like, "You smell goddamn good, and you made my dick jump." That's what he said to me. And this afternoon, dude said, "You turn me on." He just came out of the blue and said, "You turn me on." I said, I'm sure that I do. So you can't have me. You can't have me. I have to field off the things I gotta knock people back right now. And you ain't in my lane. That's all I'm saying. You ain't in my lane. There's lanes that you in, but you ain't in my lane. So if you want that female, look at Leon is the one who trying to drag folks into a whole nother topic. The topic is divesting. And I'm saying divestors are divestors. Are they passport bros? Are they not passport bros? Are they certain females that do that or don't do that? Okay. Yes, those are the type of men that approach me. I get approached by all. Today just happen to be those type. So I'm saying to you, people don't just divest just because they want to date another race. That's not what a divester is. Swirling do that. Swirlers do that. Divestors are just divesting from the community, divesting from the toxicity of the community. And there's a lot of people who do. Me, I just happen to love our community. I just happen to love what we do in our community. Okay. No, yeah. If a random man tells me about it, yeah, they do. And I do run. But I didn't know they were gonna say that to me when I walked up. I didn't know they were gonna say that to me. I can't help what other people say. I can't help how you respond, you react to me. I can't help that. We got a call.
Call from
Leon.
Oh, Leon.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
You react to me. Did you come up here to fight? I can't help that.
Nope.
Everybody here, Leon. We got a call.
Okay. So can we talk?
Now you talking like you got a little bit of sense. That wasn't how you was telling me. That's not how you was talking to me the other day. We're gonna have a civil conversation. Hello, Leon.
Okay. Hi, how you doing, HQ?
I'm fine. What do you have to contribute to the discussion, sir?
Well, I just tuned in, and
can you speak a little bit louder, please? Can you all hear him?
I just tuned in.
Oh, okay.
And so I was listening. I saw that my name was in the chat, and so that's when I asked the question.
Yes.
Did someone mention me? Now, if you want to talk to me instead of talking to the screen, then we can talk.
Okay, so what do you have that contributes to the? I mean, can you turn it off in the background a little bit or turn it down?
Yeah.
Because we can hear that echo too.
Yeah, I'll put you on mute.
Okay.
Normally I would have done that, but just slipped my mind real quick.
Okay.
I'm 55 and old, so that's the first thing that goes.
Okay.
So anyway, now, do you want to address what you was addressing in the chat first, or do you address the topic?
No. What do you want to address? What do you want to address in the chat first? Because you came up here to talk about something in the chat that was completely wrong. What was completely wrong that we said in the chat?
Well, first of all, HQ, I don't lie at all. The reason why I don't lie, because I really don't care about what someone thinks about me. I don't lie. I will not tolerate a liar to be in my presence to begin with. So if the entire world lies, then I'll be by myself. So let's get that straight. Number two, I don't rewrite my past, nor my present, nor try and try to blow up my future. I don't have to. Do you know what my name is? I mean, seriously.
No.
It's Leon King.
But you said something about. You said something. No, I
No,
think
no.
it
Do
was,
you know what that means? I'm just asking you.
no,
It
no,
means something.
no.
Okay. Since you don't know, I'll tell you. Leon means lion. I can pull out my birth certificate right now out of my wallet, and that is my name.
Okay.
So that's what it means. It means lion. I didn't give myself my name, but I have to live up to it.
Right.
So if you understand the meaning of names, then you'll understand who you're talking to. Okay, let's get this straight.
Right.
As far as a woman, Rose tried to tell you in the chat
Right.
that I don't chase women. Women chase me. Rose can tell you, and others in the chat can tell you, Lee Turner can tell you that, the women that approach me in the SBC chat that have seen me have, chased me. I don't chase women. I have never in my entire life chased a woman simply because I don't know how. I wouldn't know what to do with a woman if I did catch up with her. I'm a nerd. I embrace my nerdom. My nerdhood is very precious to me. When I'm up during the day and I put in a CD to, as a soundtrack to whatever I'm doing, and it's Black Sabbath or Bruce Springsteen or Robert Johnson or Al Green or Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes or the Beatles or I embrace that.
So
When
what?
I
So
look,
why is it that?
when I grab a book and I'm sitting down and I'm reading
Mhm.
simply because I love to read,
Wait a minute.
I
You're
embrace
saying
that.
you're saying that you're a well-rounded human being. So
No,
why is it that this
no,
well-rounded human being has never been married?
uh, I put a comment in your last live, and I stand by that comment. Years ago, uh, my best friend's dad said to me, said, son, don't be going around here asking, talking about getting married. These women do not want to get married.
What did they
Now,
want then?
hold on, let me finish. Okay? Now, this man I consider to be a man of wisdom, right? He said that to me in the 90s. Before I graduated college, I don't even think I even started school at that time. I think I was working at Firestone at that time, you know, and so he said that to me, and it played a big part in my life of how I govern myself. There was a woman at one time that said to me, she said, Leon, every woman don't want to be saved. I took a schoolmate, out one time, and my best friend said, "Yeah, Leon's a good guy." She said, "But John, I don't want a good man." So I can give you an example, but as far as Tuesday night during SBC,
Uh-huh.
Tuesday night, I had to put the show on mute because a 26-year-old woman called me and she told me that what I was talking about, she needed. So as far as
Wait a minute. Oh, okay. So you got a date.
I don't date. I don't date.
So what are we talking about if you don't date?
No, I don't date.
So how do you
I
expect to
would
get a
date
wife if
my
you don't
wife.
date?
No, I don't date. Never have. Never will. I don't date.
Okay, so how do you get past? Wait a minute. Wait. See, this is when you hold.
See, that's what I'm talking about, HQ. See, I'm somebody that you ain't never encountered before. You don't know me, and there's definitely no way that you can read me because, baby, I am something that you have never encountered before. You know, you can look. This is what this woman told me that night. I asked her a question. I said, and we have been talking for about an hour after that, you know. And I asked her a question. I said, let me ask you a question. I'm not going to call her name out here. But I said, let me ask you a question.
What's the question?
She said, okay. I said, if you had a choice between a rich fool or a poor wise man, which one will you choose? And she quickly said to me, I need me a poor wise man because money would not make you happy. She said, I need me a man that can guide me and teach me because the way I have been living has not worked out.
Leon.
And guess what? Right? It was about, SPC ended, and I was on mute, and I didn't even know it was ended. It was like 12 o'clock. And at 12 o'clock, there was a knock at my door, and she was there. She came to me. I wouldn't go next door or across the street to
You
chase a
inviting
woman.
stray people to your house? Strange.
Hold
What?
on. First of all, when I talk with someone, I don't invite, you know, people to my home and not have an understanding or some type of understanding of who they are. See, I don't go to women's house.
Why
You
not?
know, I just never have, because I cannot control the situation
What do you
at
mean?
some else's house.
What do you
You
mean?
know, listen, you're 57, and this is the truth, HQ,
Right.
right? This is the truth. You may not want to see it
What?
and all, but the truth of the matter is that you are lost in the sauce, honey, until you allow yourself to be to unlearn all that mess that you have heaped together for yourself. See, you're the one that had children outside of wedlock, and the dictionary calls them bastards.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I did,
How did we get to
and
me?
and and, and
How did we get to me? First of
oh,
all,
well,
see.
what
Here's the thing.
you're
Wait
the
a minute.
one,
Hold on.
you're
Here's
the
the thing.
one that
I let you
tried
talk. I let you
tried.
talk. Let you talk. Let me talk.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's the thing. I am 50. We basically the same age. I have lived my life like I don't have a tomorrow to live. I have lived my life as though I'm going to love a person as deeply as I can, have them love me as deeply as they can, loved and married and was passionate about whatever man I ever went to bed with, every person I ever got involved with. I'm saying to you, you're always on here saying, I want to get married. But yet and still, every time you talk, you have obstacles that are hitting in your way that you shouldn't have hitting in your way. You should never be on here. Oh, that's what I said in the chat. You or in the live. You should never be on any platform talking as though a woman's promiscuity, her past, what she's doing children wise, marriage wise. You should never, that should not even be on your radar. You're too long in the tooth for that to even concern you. You're trying to find you a person that you want to grow old with. You're not trying to trick on a 24-year-old or 26-year-old. You should know as a man at 55 that a 26-year-old is only over there because you may pay her some money or you
Watch
may
your
be
mouth
giving
out
her
there.
something.
I don't trick with nobody. I told you in the chat, I don't pay women for pussy. Never have, never will.
So
I don't do that.
So I'm assuming that
is not something that I've ever done, nor
you
is
just said to me.
it
You
something
just said to
that I
me
ever
that you
will.
don't date. You just said to me that you don't date, that you
I said,
don't
and
chase.
what else did I say?
You hold on. I'm telling you.
So well,
You said you don't
what else
date,
did I
you
say?
don't chase, you don't date, you don't chase, you don't pay for pussy.
No.
So
What
now
else
you're
did
saying you got a dry
I
dick.
said I
How
would
long?
date. I said, who did I say I would date? Who did I say I would date?
Your wife.
Exactly. Am I married?
So my whole point is, why haven't you found her in all of these years?
It's true. You're a prime example of the type of woman that I grew up with that I would never get with simply because you chose men who didn't want you.
Right.
They wanted what you gave them.
Right.
And then and then they chose not to be with you on a permanent basis. You had to find a man who looked at you for whatever reason and said, "Well, I would take this." Well, guess what?
So here's the question. I'm not going to be offended by that. But do you?
No, I'm just.
I'm not going to be offended by that. See, here's the thing.
I didn't say that as an offense. I worded my words very carefully.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying.
So
I'm
you
saying
chose
to you,
a man that looked at you and said, "I will accept that." Guess what? I will not accept that. If a woman
that's my whole point. My whole point is, out of all the time you've been on this planet,
I don't have to put hair in my head to have long hair. But if a woman walks up to me and I'm standing in line and she touches my hair, that the next thing that she would know is she would be on the ground. Because I will not allow a woman to touch my hair without my permission.
Wait a minute. Okay. This is way beyond my scope.
No, what I'm trying to
say
way
beyond the scope
is that I am different, and you cannot put me in a box just because you are offended by the things that I have said.
I'm not offended.
Just like you're offended. Just because you're offended by that.
Leon, I'm not offended. You can't offend me. You can't offend me. Leon, you can't offend me because.
No, I'm not trying to offend you.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not offended.
I'm saying to you that there are men out here, right? That you don't qualify for. And I just happen to be one of them.
I'm saying that's fine.
I would never approach a woman and say to her, you smell good. You make my dick hard.
I can't help
that is something that I could not even fathom to do. I could never you know what? the Staple singer said years ago, said you cuss around women that you don't even know. I would never in all my days use profanity around a woman that I did not know, that was not in my inner circle.
Do you know this is exactly what? Hold on. This is exactly
You don't
the
even
example.
understand.
This is. Hold on.
You
Let me
don't.
speak.
You have
Let me
no
speak. Let me speak.
understanding about life
Let me
and the
speak.
boundaries that a man
Wait a minute. Hold
has
on. Let me
put
speak.
upon himself in
I gotta
order
mute you.
so that he can grow old peacefully.
I gotta mute you. I'm not offended. I'm not offended. You know why I'm not offended? And I'll tell you why I'm not offended. Okay. He's still talking. He's still talking. Can you all hear Leon? Just name in the chat. I'm not offended, Leon. Leon, I have. I'm not offended. Why is it? It's. You know why I'm not offended, and I'll tell you why I'm not. Okay, I'm not offended, Leon, simply because I can look back on my life and say. Can you all hear Leon? I can look back on my life and say, I'm not offended. It's been successful in that way, right? It's been successful. It's been more successful than most people's lives had been successful. What you say can't offend me because I've already done the work to say this, this, and this. Other people.
You know.
Hold on. Other people saying what they said does not offend me. You say that I don't qualify for you. I'm saying you don't qualify for anyone because your standards or your umbrella is too small to put a woman underneath it. You're concerned about me and what I did years ago is the problem. Why would that offend you in any way? That was 30 odd years ago. Why would her past 30 odd years ago concern a man of your age? It shouldn't. You have gotten in your way all of your life. You said it yourself. I can only have sympathy for someone who has let their life go past them because of their standards, your boundaries, and your expectation. Where has your standards and your boundaries and your expectations gotten you? It has gotten you sitting. Hold on. It has gotten you sitting in a bathrobe in your room, screaming at the phone. That is what it has gotten you. I have 2 children out of wedlock. I have been married to a beautiful man. I have had a beautiful marriage. I have had all of these things. And yet you have not had any of those experiences. Who do you think has the more fulfilling life? And then you turn around and you try to offend me by telling me I don't qualify for your standards?
Honey, who said I tried to offend
Leon? You need to do some self-evaluation.
That's not me. I don't walk around trying to offend people. That's not me.
You didn't offend me, Leon. You made it sound off. Your whole demeanor, your whole presentation.
You want to know what? You try to sneak shade.
I'm not sneaking at all. I'm just telling you straight out. There's no shade.
You try to put little qualifiers in your speech towards me as though I'm not hearing what you're saying, and I'm hearing what you're saying.
Audience,
you
have I
a minute ago
anything that I said?
I have watched life pass me by. Now, honey, I can tell you, I can bring 1,000 people in here right now that'll let you know I don't let life pass me by.
So
I live life.
So, Leon, why would you try to offend?
So, you even tried to question what I said just, what recently happened in my life and try to say that because that I paid a 26-year-old woman to come over to my house at midnight? Are you insane?
So are you
Are
saying
you insane that I would pay a woman to do anything outside of clean my house and leave?
let's ask this one question. Have you
No,
gotten
no,
the one? Wait a minute,
no.
hold on. Have you gotten the results that you have wanted out of your life?
Truly think, you know what?
No.
The
Have you
issue
gotten
is
all
that
of the
you
have you
truly
gotten
think
all of the
that
results
you have
that
had a
you have wanted?
successful life. And
Absolutely.
I can tell you this, that
Absolutely.
there's a man right now who thought that he had a successful life, and one day he heard a voice that said, "Thou fool, your soul is required of you tonight." So there's a man right now in existence. Are you talking to me?
I'm not talking. I'm listening.
Okay. Well, so that's what I'm saying. So for you to think that your life is successful, see, now you're moist because you think you done got me hot. But I'm going to tell you, you haven't gotten me hot. Don't listen.
Wait.
You really don't. You don't listen. And I have been trying to teach you since the day I encountered you that, honey, you are too old to be going out here spouting the rhetoric that you spout with no basis for fact. You question numbers, you question reality, and I'm gonna tell you, you are wrong.
Wow. I like that.
You know, I have been doing this thing that I'm doing right now. See, in my real life,
wait a minute, hold on.
I do
wait a
this.
minute. How do you think? Wait a minute. See, then I would. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I thank you. I thank you for the call, Leon. I thank you for the call. I mean, you want me to be offended?
This is your
Wait a minute,
show.
hold on. You want? Hold on. I'll let you talk.
Say what you want to say.
You let me talk.
You can cut me off.
I'm not cutting you off. I just wanted. I want to be able to
matter
talk to you
is
now.
that regardless
Wait a minute,
of the
hold on.
fact,
I haven't
still
sneak dissed
wrong.
you. I haven't sneak dissed you at all. I have come
You've been
directly
doing
out.
it.
I have come
Chat
directly
can tell
out.
you. The chat, listen.
I have
go
come
back
directly
and
out,
watch
and
this.
I have said exactly
You
what
have
I thought.
done it. You have done it. You have put qualifiers in. I wasn't even up here.
And
Actually,
then you came up
just
here
woke
and then
up.
you tried to offend.
I just woke up when I tuned in. I said, okay, let me see what the topic is tonight. I ain't got shit to do. It's 7 o'clock at night. Hey, I've done what I needed to do today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the thing is
hold on, Leon. The
only people I encountered today were white, and each and every one of them, we were on the same level of thought.
Hold on, Leon. If you think your life is successful and you've done everything that you could possibly do to be fulfilled and to be happy, then I'm happy for you. That's exactly how it should be. Your life has went exactly the way you needed it to be. Just like it needed to be the way I lived my life. I am not up here to say whether my life is successful against yours or not. I'm saying I lived my life. Whether that was good or bad or ugly, I lived my life. I did all of the things I was supposed to do in this life. I'm asking you, did you do everything in your life that you wanted to do? That will tell whether it's been successful the way you wanted it to be or not. Even if you think I lived differently, even if you think I did something wrong, even if you think I did this, that, and the third, It's not for you to say that I did it wrong. Okay.
And
It's
listen,
not for me to say
listen.
that you
You
did it
asked the
wrong.
question. Let me
I'm
give you
saying,
the answer
I'm
to
saying
that.
if you didn't
But
find you
you
were
asked
always
a
up here
question.
saying,
Can
I
I
want to
help?
get married, I want to do this, I want to do that. But you never did. So I'm saying, was your life successful the way you wanted it to be? If you didn't get married and you wanted to get married, then that's something that you stopped from happening. It was something on your end that stopped you from getting married. That's not disparaging you. That's a fact. That's reality. Something said inside of you that I'm not going to marry this woman. I'm going to marry this woman or that woman or that woman. That's your choice to make. I'm saying don't try to snow us and say, oh, I'm so happy. My life is so this, that, and the third when you're always whining about not having been married. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying maybe it was you. And you aren't taking a look at you. You're not being accountable for you. You keep saying her, and you're never saying me. Well, maybe my umbrella was too small. Well, maybe my standards were too high. You even had the nerve to say, I could never meet your standard. What kind of shit is that? And you don't
realize that.
What shit is that?
You do realize that you have diarrhea of the mouth, right? You didn't even allow me to answer the question of
Right.
whether I thought my life is successful. Guess what? I don't look at my life as being anything but my life, and I live it. I'm not, honey. I am no ways done. I don't listen. I am no ways. I got one foot in the grave and one foot on the banana peel.
Absolutely.
Honey, I am no ways.
I believe everything.
I am living my life. I'm not.
Hold on. Listen to this one thing. Listen to this
for
one
10
thing.
minutes,
Leon.
and now you cutting me off.
Listen.
You can't even see that.
Listen, Leon, one thing.
You can't even see that. Your mind won't even allow you to listen to someone else because you have been listening to those voices in your head for so long that nobody else can get a word in edgewise.
Listen, one thing. What you have been doing in the past, looking for a wife and a mate, has not worked.
Who said I was looking for a wife?
You said that in the chat. What do you mean?
I said I need a wife. I didn't say I was looking for one.
Boy, get your ass off my phone before I cuss you out. See, I don't have patience for that kind of shit. He said he was looking for a wife. Yes, you did. I want me a wife. You said that in the last chat. And so we took that to mean what it was. Because you was getting hysterical, and I can't stand hysterical men. I'm having a reasonable conversation with you, and you're getting upset even more. I'm not saying that I was correct in all of my responses, but you definitely were not correct in all of your responses. I was not throwing shade at you at all. I was very direct with what I said. You were throwing shade at me. Oh, you had 2 babies out of wedlock. What makes you think you're so successful? I never said that. I said I have had more success and more happiness in my life than most people deserve. And I stand on that 10 toes. But the one thing I cannot say that if you are in our chat saying, I need to be married, I want to be married, I want a wife, and you have not gotten one before, that means whatever fishing hook you were using prior to does not work. Which means you need to change your fishing hook, sir. That's all we're saying. I'm not done living on anything. Yes, life is about trial and error, and you got to get out there and live. I would have been married 2, 3 times. I'm not going to give up on life and love because she done had a baby out of wedlock. There's a billion women on this planet. And what did he go back to? Well, women like you. Women like you. Women like me, how? You cannot tell people how to get out of their own way. You cannot do that. The topic at hand was divesting. You see why some women, some black women, some women at all divest. This toxic behavior that we got right here. This is toxic behavior, Leon. Nobody wants you to be on your goddamn high horse telling them that your life is better because you're holier than they are. I live by the Bible, so you'll laugh at since you don't live by the Bible, your life is shit. I follow the word of Jesus, but since you don't follow the word of Jesus, your life is shit. Don't nobody want to hear that. Ain't nobody trying to live like that. You trying to make a human connection on this planet. Ain't nobody trying to hear about how better you are than they are. By all logic and measure, people would say that I have had a successful life and marriage, kids, the whole nine. Even when I messed up and had 2 children out of wedlock, I still got a husband. And I still was with him for 30 odd years. By all means, that would be successful. And yet you got on here and said, or you try to denigrate that, which made no sense to me whatsoever, when you haven't even pulled up your drawers or your underwear and decided to give a woman an opportunity to be a wife and a mother. You were too scared to jump out there. You were too much inside of your head to jump out there and get a wife. I don't care whether Cooley likes a white woman or a black woman. I care that he's denying that he loves her, that he wants her, that she's more than just a paycheck to him. He's still denying that. I don't care whether she's white or black. I don't care about whether they do that. Divest. He can be a divester, a passport bro. He can be all of those things. As long as you are true to yourself and you're not out here talking about, I want to get over here with the white girl because the black girls ain't no good. There's billions of black women on this planet, billions of white women. Choose one. Shit'll get off the pot, Leon. Start talking about shit that don't make sense. Stop talking about shit that don't make sense. You would be lucky if I walked over there and touched your dick. Stop it. Your whole fucking century would be made. What are you talking about? But that's not the point. The point is you got to get into the game. You got to get into the game. I'm a wise woman. I'm all of these things. No, I'm not. You just turn that nasty button. You just hit my nasty button. Some people hit it. You just happen to hit it this evening because you're stuck in your ways and you don't see that you're stuck there. No, I'm not trying to denigrate you in any way. What I am saying is what has not worked before, you need to cut all of that off and start something else. Y'all see Leon in the chat talking crazy. Do y'all see Leon in the chat talking crazy? And I done triggered that man, and I didn't mean to trigger that man. The topic was divesting. Okay. I triggered him, and that wasn't what that wasn't what we were doing. What we said was divesting. Divestors don't divest just because they don't want to deal with black men. They divest because they find other options more palatable than what they have in front of them. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything else. I didn't mean to trigger you, Leon. I apologize for that. I do. But I don't really don't I really have to hold my tongue with you, because it's like I gotta shake you, I gotta shake you. People can say whatever they want to say. I don't care. That's not a. We have a caller. Hello.
Call from
Hipster League.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press.
Hello, Rose.
Hi, HQ. How are you?
I don't know what the hell I did, but he is hot.
Oh my God. So I think that when we mentioned him earlier,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what rubbed him the wrong way. But we weren't mentioning him other or outside of the fact that there was cussing going on, and we were trying to keep it,
Right.
on the right track. So
Right.
I'm sorry. Like I won't mention him anymore. Like I don't want to summon up the demons. Like
Right. And it wasn't that. It wasn't anything that you did. It was Lee. He just kept prodding and prodding and prodding. And it's like I can't, because people don't recognize, or he doesn't recognize, that he's in his own way. You're in your own way.
I can kind of see that. And he has mentioned before, words out of his own mouth, that he did want to be married. Yes. So that's the only reason why you're saying he could be the one possibly in his own way.
Right. And I'm saying it in a nice way, or I thought I was saying it in a nice way.
No, it's just because he's not listening to understand. He's listening to like have a talking point.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to attack me. And I'm like, why are you attacking me? What's going on?
Right. It doesn't need to be personal.
No,
right.
It wasn't.
Right.
Because I know if someone says to me, well, HQ, you did this, or you did this, or you did this, I would at least consider that maybe
what they're saying has some validity.
Right. And it's not, and it wasn't in a way to denigrate. It was more of a way, maybe you'll listen and maybe you'll think about it. Right. And it's like, I hate when I see people. I don't like people to be alone. That is one of the hardest things on this internet that I run into. People who are in their own way, and they have these talking points, and then it's never successful. It's always something else. And it's like, look, if you think a different way, maybe you'll be successful in this particular way. Instead of saying this, because when he initially said something, he said something about, well, these women are having babies. And I said to you,
it's like, that's not your demographic that you're worried about.
Right.
And I felt you on that.
Right. And it should never even be a concern now. It should never be a concern. And you're in, that's in your way.
But when the guys say that, we can't have empathy, like we got to just, it is what it is. Like they always say, it is what it is. It is what it is. And now it's like drilled into my own head. There's going to be people that are going to be receptive to your advice,
Right.
because they see what's worked for you.
Right.
Regardless of what the circumstances are, you
Right.
did have a successful marriage and you raised a family.
Right.
However that started,
Right.
you got back on track and you finished it through.
Right.
So that stands for something. And when you say you lived your life, you can say that you set out all that you meant to accomplish.
Right.
That makes you should be happy.
Right.
That is something to, I get that people cannot get over certain, listen, no one is perfect. We don't
No.
know how
Right.
Leon has had
That's
transgressions,
right.
just like y'all don't know all of mine,
Right.
and I'm not getting up here. None of us are getting up here like no Fugazi podcast. We're all up
Right.
here trying to bring
Right.
our authentic selves. Now,
Right.
do I have to divulge everything that happened in my life between 18 and 42 to
Right.
Leon or to anyone online?
Right.
No, I do not. But I can show you very valid evidence that I've had the success that I sought out for.
Right.
There's nothing that Raquel is wanting or longing for.
Right.
And so for that alone, I find that a successful life.
Right. Right.
You
Which,
know,
right,
and it's
which is
all
what I
what
wanted
we
to
make it.
explain. And which
Yeah.
is what I wanted to say. It was like, look at this, and then tell me if it works. Then if it doesn't work, then you need to change it. That's it.
Right.
It's nothing. It's
Right.
more. No, you are a bum and you didn't. Blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm saying
right.
look at
right.
what happened in the past. Has it been successful? If it hasn't, then maybe you need to change your message. That's it. And I always get on panel and I always say to people, show me a red pill person that has been authentically living every one of those talking points, and I'll show you a liar. Look at Cooley.
And that's what we've been seeing, but we've seen it. I mean, the red pill guys, they know they've seen it a few other times outside of Cooley. So
Right.
it's not far-fetched for any of us to come up with that same opinion.
Right.
But to get us back on the subject of divesting,
Right.
and try to be a little lighthearted. Of
Right.
course, I'm mixed. My dad is Black and my mother is Spanish. And I asked my dad when I first started listening to Tariq Nasheed, like way back in the day.
Right.
I asked my dad, I was like, because none of my uncles are married to white women. Or I do have a cousin, a female cousin, that is considered a divester. But this is like 2 generations away from my dad.
Oh, okay.
This is his niece, whatever. But anyway, I asked him, I was like, Dad, like, why did you get with a white lady? Because obviously, like, this is not the thing to do in the South. Like, it's very frowned upon. So he told me that when he was growing up in South Georgia and he started dating, he would be bringing home girls to meet his mom. And his mom would be like, don't go too far, baby, because that's like your third cousin or your second cousin or your third cousin that they might not have known. So and even when I went to high school, I went out with this guy. His name was Sean Dillard. He told me where his family was from. And he said Elberton, Georgia. Now, I don't know any other person in the city of Atlanta that has family in Elberton, Georgia. It's a very little small town.
Right.
And so guess what, HQ? Me and him are like 4th cousins.
Ouch.
Yeah. So my dad said, when he got stationed and went overseas to Germany, first of all, there were no other real women, because back in the day, he said there wasn't as many lady soldiers.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
that's right.
To choose from.
Right.
Yeah. And so he started like dating women of the town that they were, and he just ended up falling in love with my mom. And yeah, so I but he said that it's always been uncomfortable for him because, Black women or white men, you can just tell when they're not accepting of it. Like in Germany, I remember my parents used to get some really dirty looks.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, but yeah, that's why he did it. I definitely think, like, I've seen my dad's web browser.
Mhm.
I know he finds Black women, you know, sexually attractive. So yeah, it wasn't never nothing like that. He
Right.
doesn't hate himself,
Right.
but he did say that that was the reason why. So I just wanted
okay.
to add that to the conversation and
Right.
get us back on track to your topic.
And it's a
Because
lot.
I
It's a
know-
lot of men just like him who were in the military, and they were over there, and those are the women that they found over there that they found attractive. And it's a lot of people out here who are divesting, as you call it, divestors. And there's
Right.
nothing wrong with that, as long as you're not denigrating your race.
Your own race.
Right.
Yes, agreed. My dad never told me, you know, my dad told me one time, he was like, "You're not like your mother."
Mhm. Right.
And I didn't understand what he meant by
What
that.
did he
So
mean
then
by that?
well, because my mom was like trying to grow me up like in this Josephine Baker reality.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
you know, the world is beautiful and the world will love you, and
Mhm.
the world, we don't see color. And, you know, like my dad was like, "No, you are not like your mother."
Oh, okay.
And I never got that until a Spanish boy called me the N-word
Ah,
while I was summering in Spain. He was a college kid,
mhm.
and he came to the pool and he was like, "What is the N-word doing in the pool?"
Ouch.
And I didn't know the word in Spanish. I didn't get it. But as soon as he said it, it was like an eruption came up, like of all the adults at the pool. They started cussing him out, and my grandfather came downstairs and knocked his teeth out. It was really, 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 like, because I didn't know what was going on and I didn't know the word.
Mhm.
But after that, I understood what my dad meant. And I want to say to men that have daughters, don't talk to them in riddles. Say what the fuck is, say it straight up.
Right.
Because I didn't get that until, you know, I could have been better prepared if
Right.
my dad would have just said, "The world is going to look at you as a Black woman. You
Right.
can't think that you're a Spanish lady like your mom, because
Right.
you know, it doesn't matter how well you speak it
Mhm.
or the traditions you take. They're not going to look at you the same." And my grandfather told me, "You can come to Spain for summer love, but don't think that these boys are going to marry you." He told me that at like 12 years old. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But then still, like, I didn't get it because my dad never, you know, drew the dots for me or connected
Right.
the dots for
So
me.
you're saying
Yeah.
you're saying that the dots should be drawn. You shouldn't just let them jump out there and then have the world roll over them. You want them to be prepared. That's
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If my dad would have broken it down for me, I would have understood way before what those dirty looks were about, or been prepared for the guy to say some shit like that.
right.
But yeah.
Yeah, and it's a I mean
Yeah.
it's a good and there was a discussion on a panel today, and then they were going back and forth about, well, that person not black, that person not black. I don't care how you slice it. People are going to look at you. The majority or the dominant society is going to look at you either black or white. They're going to look at you and say,
Right.
okay, this person's black. So why are we trying to separate each other because somebody's lighter than or mixed or whatever? See, I take people how they come. If you say you're white and you're a good person, I'm going to live with you and I'm going to deal with you as a good person. You mixed, I don't care whether you're mixed. If you say you're black, then I'm going to accept you as you being
And
black.
you've always been that way. You
Right.
were very,
been that way.
you showed me a lot of grace.
Yeah.
Like when we first were introduced to each other. You
But I
asked me,
never
"Are you
looked
black?"
at you and said, oh, that ain't no black girl. I never looked
Right.
at you and said, that ain't no white girl. I always look at you and said, when you said I was black, I was like, okay, cool. That's what she is. Boom.
And I appreciated that because it just turned everything else so ugly. But
Right.
yeah, like I love your show. I love your approach to the guys. Like, so I appreciate what you bring to the space. And
Thank
I
you,
think
hon.
Leon does
Thank
too.
you.
I just think he likes to argue. Like that's just his personality type,
Yeah.
you know?
Well,
So
what, is he coming
yeah.
to the Royal Rumble? If he come to the Royal Rumble, I might get it. See, he
I
doesn't
won't be
understand
able
what
to
he has been
come.
doing. Hasn't he been calling me names in the chat?
Yeah, see, that's another thing, Leon, if you're listening, like the point of the discussions is that we speak to each other respectfully and we can't cuss at each other. Like I've said curse words in our dialogue, but I'm not cussing HQ. I'm not saying
No,
God
he's out
damn
there.
her or
He said she's a hoe, or he's not saying it blatantly like that, but he's saying it like that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And he's talking about me being low key. He's being low key in the chat.
Yeah. There's some pot shots being thrown, Leon.
I never said a word. I was on the panel, but I saw those words, right? So my whole point is, look, we want to be respectful, have good dialogue. No, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to say anything out of pocket with you. I'm just saying, look at the choices that have been made, and maybe some of those choices have not served you well. That's all we're saying. We ain't saying anything else. We're saying if you...
And it's basically the same thing that they're saying to the ladies that are calling up Kendra G and not finding love. They're saying the same things about them. Right. So it's only fair.
It's only fair. Like, you have to look at the choices that you have made all the way down the line. And I haven't made all the right choices either. Nobody has made all of the right choices.
Right. Like I have tattoos. I used to have a tongue ring. You know, I used to be a bar service girl. Like, come on, y'all. Like, it's not like
we're not made exactly.
No one's up here on a high horse.
Right. And we cannot do that. We cannot look at each other's lives and say, my life is way better than yours. We can look at some of the choices and say, well, that wouldn't have been a choice I made, or I wouldn't have made a choice. But it's called correction. We have made corrections. Yeah. People have made corrections. And you have to give people grace for making corrections. And when I said to Leon, maybe some of the choices that are wrong, that you've made in the past, maybe you need to change those, and maybe the direction may go differently. You didn't want to hear that. I'm not attacking you.
Yeah, I don't think that's rude. I don't think that was rude. It's just a observable observation. Like we're just observing, like, and it's just, I think anybody would give you that advice, you know, even if it was a therapist, you know, like you got to try something different to get another kind of result.
No, sorry.
I guess I don't think it. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to hog up any more of your time.
Somebody
I
wanted
love
to
your
give
show.
me one more call. So I'll give you one more call. But thank you, Raquel. Thank you for coming up and clarifying.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, bye-bye. Love you too. Bye-bye.
Yes, Lex, Triple Lex. Call in if you feel like calling in. Whoever wanted to call, we going a little bit longer tonight. Yes, we are, because we took a time up to talk to Leon, and Leon was hot with us. So we trying to do what we got to do. So that's my whole thing. Don't be upset, Leon. That's not what we were doing. We weren't trying to be anything other than, wait a minute, hold on.
Call from
Triple X.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hey, Triple X.
Hey, what's up, Lady HQ? What's going on?
How you doing, sir? How you doing this Thanksgiving Eve? Oh, I meant to say that, everybody, happy Thanksgiving for tomorrow, just in case I did not say it earlier. You know, I want everybody to have a nice Thanksgiving, some good food, you know, that whole night. And thank you for the super chats, Lee Turner 99¢, and Lee Turner for $1.99. Thank you for the super chat. So how can I help you, Mr. Lex?
Oh yeah, I'm doing good, better than I deserve.
So our topic was divester or divesting.
Yeah. I seen it. I've been kind of in and out. I caught some of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's a slippery slope topic, especially, you know, within the Black community and everything.
Right.
You know, it's easy to get labeled, you know, a sellout, divester.
So are you a
Fairwind.
divester? Are you one of the people that dates out?
I usually date black women.
Oh,
You know, I
usually
date
date
black women.
Okay.
Yeah. I date black women. I wouldn't consider myself a divester. Have I dated a woman that's non-black before? I have. But that's very, very rare. I would say 95% of the women I've dated are black.
Okay.
So so that's where I'm at with it.
So how do you feel about black women? So how do you feel about black women dating white men?
Me personally,
do you feel
I
the
feel
same
like
type of way?
No. I don't. I was gonna get to that, but yeah, I don't personally. I feel like they got to get in where they fit in. You know, a lot of them is, A lot of them, the marriage rates are down across the board, and it ain't just black women.
Right.
So, I mean, they got to get in where they fit in, and you know, ultimately, if that's where it goes, then that's the option they may have to take. You know, or if you just naturally meet somebody and y'all hit it up, I mean, race may not really come into play with that.
Right.
You know, I guess my concern with black women and white men would be if she's getting with a white or any other race of guy and she wants to, you know, all of a sudden turn on black men and start attacking black men.
Right.
That would be a concern of mine and kind of like waving in people's face like nana and all that.
Right.
I would be concerned about that. Yeah. And also I would be concerned about ones that, you know, probably never really gave black men a solid shot, you know, and they just pretty much started out on that path and always had a negative view without seeing things for themselves.
Yes,
you
know? as long as you're not denigrating you're not denigrating anybody's race. You're falling for that person because you want to fall for that person, and you find value in that person, regardless of whether it's race or not. I say go for it, because it is so hard out here to find love and somebody that wants you, desire you, see for you.
Yeah. Real riders are rare. So of any race.
So why would you say I'm not gonna give every opportunity to find that on this planet at least once?
Right.
At least once.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know? Because it's difficult enough to navigate this world with this, that, and the third. Ain't no way I'm gonna turn down somebody that want me. And want me to be who I am, how I am, and they and I ain't fussing with them all the time. I can't.
It's infinitely just rare to find real riders like that that's really into you of any race, let alone your own race. So if you get that, like you say, that ain't really nothing to play with. It shouldn't be taken lightly. Most definitely. Go ahead.
My whole point is, you've only been attracted to black women, you're saying.
Yeah.
So you have never ran into that. You have never ran into the possibility of dating outside. If you had the possibility, would you do it though?
I mean, if I had like some Carmen Electra looking like, or Jenny McCarthy looking like, I mean, damn, or like Kelly Bundy circa 1989 looking like, I mean, that would be hard to turn down. It's safe to say, HQ, most black women would take that opportunity. Those are super bad chicks. I mean, I put them up there, you know, with the bad black chicks, man, the Layla Stein, the Holly Berry. I mean,
but you found,
like most guys will take that opportunity.
Yeah, but you found primarily everything that you desired in the black woman.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, because you can be attracted to any one of these people at any given time, color, creed, it don't matter, at any given time. The whole point is, are you going to take that opportunity to be loved and to be cared for, regardless of race? We just primarily happen to be around a lot of black people. We just happen to be in the presence of a lot of black people all the time, in which that's what we find our heart's desire within that group that we're around all the time, right?
Yeah.
So we've never had the opportunity to jump out there and deal with another race. But that don't mean we wouldn't do that if that opportunity arose.
Yeah.
And I
exactly. Because hey, I'm sure you found some non-black guys attractive.
Yeah, Jason Momoa. Are you nuts? Jason Momoa?
Right. Right. Would you go out with him?
Aquaman?
Would you go out with him?
Shit.
Yeah.
Come on now.
All right then. That's everybody. Hey, look, let me put it this way. If a prime Carmen lecture pulled up, Jason Black going out with her. Tariq Nasheed going out with her. Let's be real here.
Right.
Let's be real. They going out. Like, if they're single, they going out with the girl, man. Ain't nobody like, no, I'm cool.
Right. So my whole point is we gotta figure out a way. We gotta figure out a way that these people find happiness somehow, some way, without just saying all of these people are just no good. If all of these are no good, then try looking for, like I told somebody the other night, you don't like Black American women? Try Jamaican Black women. Try Asian Black women. Try mixed women. Try something else. If you're attracted to Black women, there's Black women all over this planet.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's a quick thing I want to ask HQ.
Yes.
Well, why you gotta do my man Leon like that, man?
Sometimes people get me out of my body. That's all I'm gonna say. Sometimes people get me out of my body. This is the way I am most of the time.
Yeah. That's an old school players from the Himalayas. Come on now.
But here's the thing. Sometimes you get in your way. There's Black Asian women. What do you mean? They're mixed.
Yeah. She means the Black and Asian women that's mixed.
Look at the Tiger Woods. He's a Black Asian man.
Yeah. Janae Aiko. Yeah, the list goes on.
There you go.
Yeah.
So thank you, sir. Thank you for calling me. Thank you.
No problem. All right. Hey, till next time.
All right,
baby girl.
I appreciate your input. Thank you.
No problem. Take care.
Yes. Call me up, Libitina FD, please. Leon is just swinging in the chat. He is swinging in the chat. That's all. He's a wounded human being. That's all. You just tangle with HQ, and HQ don't take prisoners.
Call from
Libitina.
To accept, press 1. To send.
Hello, Libitina.
Hey, gorgeous. How are you?
Hi. How you doing? This is the first time you call.
This is the first time I called. It's not the first time I sent money. I sent some money like probably a couple months.
Thank you.
Well, first ran across your thing.
You're very low. You're very low. Can you how do you get your volume?
Let me see. Can you hear me better now?
Or can the audience hear? I can't. Yes, they can hear just a little bit louder because you're a little bit low. So what do you have on the topic, ma'am?
Other than me windmilling inside them comments for you. No, I used to live in Korea.
Okay.
And I will tell you, when I lived in Korea, I was surrounded by, of course, I was in the military at the time, but I was surrounded by Korean men. And I was so surprised at how tall they were, first of all. Because, you probably would think, you'd be like, no, all Korean men short.
Right.
And I was like, no. Then I was so surprised at, how nice they were and catering. And so so one of them, plenty of them used to ask me out, but one of them I did accept his date.
Okay.
And
we went out on the economy, meaning that we wasn't on the base. We went out into Korea, and he took me to this really nice restaurant. And I tell you, and now this was 2010. We walked in the restaurant arm in arm. Do you know everybody in that restaurant stopped and
Shut up.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like my whole chest. I was like, oh my God.
I know you put your back straight. I know you put your back straight.
Honey, I was going to straighten in and let them see all this chocolate on his arm.
Okay.
But the thing was, you know what he did? He tapped me on my hand and he leaned over to me and he says, don't worry, I got you. And I was like, whoa, okay.
All right.
So then when we sat to the table, the waiter, he was being very condescending towards me. And only thing I wanted to know, because everything was written in Hangul. So I was just basically, and he was acting as if he didn't know or tried to act like he didn't know what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
So my date says to me, he says, hold on. He said my name. He said, hold on. And then he spoke to him in their language. And all of a sudden the guy bowed to him. And he was like, after he bowed to him and apologized, he turned to me and talked to me in the most, like, he talked to me in the best English that I've heard the entire time over there, because he was trying to be nasty to me. And so so it's like at that moment, and me growing up in the South, I have dated, white guys like in school, and it used to be so horrible. So for me to go over there, so even on our date, as we was getting off our date, we was riding on a bus, and these two black guys had their faces, they was turned straight towards us. We were sitting in the back of the bus, and they was turned around looking at us. So he got off at his stop. He asked me that I want to get out on his spot, and I told him no, I want to go ahead and go home.
Right.
And that we could see each other another time. Do you know when them black guys, when he got off and the bus pulled off, those black guys came and they jacked me up, put their hands on me, and was like, what are you doing with him? And I was like, get your goddamn hands up off me.
Right.
So I was like, it was just so much. Like, why would you think you could put your hands on me just because you see me on a date with yes, Rose, they jacked me up, put their hands, and you know how somebody jack you up and pull you close? Like, they was trying to get me straight.
What?
And so, yeah.
That's crazy.
With that being said, yeah, I was like, yo, like, I don't know if I want to keep going through this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I found it easier to be with a black man, because for one, you could find a black man in every shade that you want.
Oh, okay.
I mean, a black man could be as white as you want him to be. He could be as dark as you want him to be. Yellow, good hair, black, not good hair. I'm talking straight hair.
And that's always my argument. Hair. That's always my argument. I can always find a brother in all different shades. We come in all different shades. And that's why I never got tired of brothers.
Come on. And and that's the thing. So I just was like, but if there was one regret, I will regret that I did not go any further with that guy, because that was the most protected I had ever felt. And that was only on one date.
So are you saying that that's why you stopped seeing him? Because it scared you?
At that time, yeah, because this was 2010.
Right.
I knew I was only going to be in Korea for that year because I was military. And, and then I ended up meeting this chocolate brother who just swept me off of my feet.
Okay.
But that chocolate brother ended up cheating and everything too. So I'm like, wow.
Right.
But I often think about how that guy, because his name was Lee. And when I called back over there, I ended up finding out that he was one of the top lawyers over in Korea.
The guy? The guy that went on a date with you?
The Korean guy, yes.
Oh, wow.
That's why he could walk into any place. And that's why he was like, no worries, I got this. So when he checked that guy,
Mm-hmm.
I believe he let him know, do you know who I am?
Oh, wow. And so
Yeah.
you never had an experience, you never had an experience like that, or wanted to go back and see whether anything could have came of it. You never even thought about doing that.
Well, the thing was, and I'm now retired from the military, and I've had another life outside of that.
Right.
Like Levitina is just my name on YouTube, but Levitina means funeral goddess.
Okay.
It means funeral goddess because I'm a mortician,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's why. So now I've built up another life, but will I want to go back to Korea? I would love to go back to Korea because I enjoy my time in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody mentioned about Japan. Yes, I love Japan. Like, I'm a woman who have been able to see the world. But I'm with what the guy said prior,
Mm-hmm.
that don't put down your race just because you want to be with another race, or just because somebody in that race chose you.
You're
You
right.
know, that's not a good thing. Just go and enjoy your life and live life with no regret.
So this one question,
And
why do you think, why do you think these men attacked you? What was their point in that?
Because I was black, and I shouldn't have been with an Asian. Because he was like, what are you doing with him? Them.
Mm-hmm.
They said them. So they was calling the Asians them. I'm like, we're in their country, and why can't I be with them?
Right.
You know?
That
So
was
I
terrible.
was stationed at Camp Humphreys, Andrew. Andrew Fain, that's so crazy because Fain is my family's last name.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it's because I was a black woman,
Mm-hmm.
and they felt a black woman should not have been. Yes, they were strangers, and that's the fact. Like, all of us were soldiers, and
That's
like they were like in
crazy.
the next unit.
Right.
But yeah, like, why would you do that? And why didn't you do that in front of him? You waited till I got by myself to put your hands on me.
Right. Right. And that colored the whole thing. But at least he was a gentleman. He took you on a date. He cared about you. You separated on good terms, and then you have this terrible experience with your race. Well, at least your race didn't color your whole dating experience, because that's terrible. I mean, you understand that love is love regardless of whether they're mixed or not mixed. The world has so many problems and issues in it. Why would you hold another person back from loving a person regardless of whether they're white or black or whatever? Because like I tell people, I could be, if I got locked into a room and it wasn't nothing but Asian men in that room, and I would be in that room forever, I would have to pick an Asian man. So the whole point is, you gotta love who wants and cherishes and desires you. You can't just say, I'm not gonna deal with another race because they're another race. You can't do that.
Right.
You have to find, the world is so full of people who don't have love. If somebody said they wanted to love me and they were of a different race and they had all the qualifications that I wanted them to have, there wouldn't be no way that I would be hesitating to fall in love with this person.
Thank you. And then let me just address, because it looks like the real book said, did they attack you or did they try to little sis you? First off, they put their hands on me. So it don't matter what. They had no right to put their hands on me. So don't even try to comprehend what was their reason behind it when they put their hands on me. They had no right to put their hands on me.
Right. Right.
So don't try to find a reason and why they did that. That's not fair, and you're negating how I felt, trying to understand how they feel.
But it's always something different. But it's always something different when a black woman dates outside. The men feel some type of way. But we are not, as women, supposed to feel some type of way when they do it. Because usually when we do it, we're just doing it because we want to fall in love and we want to do this, that, and the third, and we want to be cherished. Usually when they jump out, 9 times out of 10 is something wrong with the black woman. That's why I went over here to this agent or whatever,
Yes.
right? And that's the
Yes.
difference. That's the difference between us as women and them as men. It's like
Yes.
something has to be wrong with us in order for us to go out, but it's not something wrong with you when you go out and denigrate your women and your race.
Right, because it was nothing about denigrating anybody.
Right.
I got asked out on a date.
Right.
I accepted it and I went. And
that's
yes,
it.
it was in Korea, Andrew. It was in Korea at Camp Humphreys when they jacked me up.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
All because she felt like she wanted to go on a date and she felt special enough to go on a date with this man. After the end of the
Yeah.
date, she gets attacked by 2 brothers. And it's
Yeah.
like it's always like a moment of it's like a issue of pride with black
Yeah.
men. It's like we're not denigrating you because we go out with a white man. That's not why most women do that. We don't do it like that. We want to be treated right and correct and lovingly. We don't do it
Right.
because, oh, I can't stand all them black men, so I'm gonna do it. That's not how we think. That's not how we do things.
Right.
it
And then
works.
the thing was to be a forgiving person when you have overcome so many things by like I haven't turned off men because of being attacked or because I'm being, I'm saying cheated on or being hit or whatever. I have said, okay, that was that man.
Right.
It's not going to turn me to women. It's going to turn me to, okay, now I know how to choose better. Don't get myself inside,
Right.
get myself inside certain situations and just know that that person was a sick person who did this to me or whatever. Not all people.
Right.
So
Right.
that's the thing, because I could easily say, oh, well, black men did this, that, did that. No, it was that particular black man. Or it was
Right.
that person right there. That's the one who was doing that.
Right. Right.
So,
And we know how to make that distinction. You got to know how to make that distinction that not all black men do that. It's a case by case basis. That's it, JM. See, it is. And you just want to find somebody to love you, to cherish you, to be on both of y'all program, not just my program, not just his program, but both of our program. I guarantee you, if you got a program and you in 90% of that program and she only got to get 10% because you want her to be on your program, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You need to both need to have a program, and you both need to be on board with each other's program. It cannot just be his program. People say, well, you got to get on his program. I get that. He has to have an umbrella, and that umbrella has to be big enough in order for me to walk around it, dance around it, and do what I need to underneath it. It can't be so small that I cannot function as a woman, as a complete human being underneath it. What do you mean?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is this. A man has a program. He has a program, and his program is an umbrella. How good his program works for you is how well you can function underneath it. Are you
how
with
well
me so
you
far?
could submit to it? How well you could submit to it?
So if he has a small umbrella and you have to stick close to him, you got to do everything he says. You can't move, you can't think, you can't do nothing, and y'all got to stay under that umbrella because the umbrella is too small. Then that a relationship is not going to work. But if the umbrella is big enough where you can be yourself, have opinions, have thoughts, be able to contribute, be able to be loved for you, that umbrella is big enough for that to happen, then 9 times out of 10, that relationship can go further. You understand what I'm saying now?
Yeah, I love that.
So that's what I'm saying. A man's umbrella has to be big enough for you to function as a woman underneath it, how you want to function. It's under his protection, but he has to understand that you're an individual too. And you want to stay under his umbrella. but you also want to be yourself under that umbrella too.
You ain't lying, because if you have a big enough umbrella, you don't necessarily have to be all up on him. You could walk
Right
next to him in unison
Right.
and still be covered
Right.
by that umbrella.
That's
I
what
love
I'm
that
saying.
logic.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
love that.
But if the
Mhm,
umbrella
mhm.
is too small,
That's it.
you can't be under his covering. You're going to want to walk out from underneath that umbrella, and it's not going to work. That's all I'm saying. Think of it as an
Some part of you
umbrella.
gonna get wet.
Right,
Some part of you gonna get wet.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna be upset because he's gonna get wet. Or however you want the analogy to go. That's what I'm saying. The umbrella has to be big enough. And most men, and I'm saying my husband's umbrella was big enough where he knew I wasn't going to walk with my booty out. He knew I wasn't going to cuss him out. He knew I wasn't going to buck up to him. He knew I wanted to help contribute to the house. He knew I wanted to raise children with him. He knew I wanted to be a good wife. He wanted to be a good husband. So we walked under the umbrella. His umbrella was big enough where I could be myself. And he didn't have to say, don't you do this and don't you do that. He already knew I wasn't going to do that because his umbrella was big enough where I didn't have to flex myself. I could just be.
And he didn't have to beat on his chest. I'm a man.
Right.
I'm a man.
Right.
He just said,
right.
nah, baby.
I went to him. When I needed something, I went to him. And me and him, we converged. We talked under that umbrella and we came to a consensus because not being under the umbrella was not an option. It wasn't an option. So thank you for calling. Thank you, hon.
Yes.
I'm glad you contributed to this conversation. Thank you.
Absolutely. I love you. And,
I love you, hon.
You know what?
What?
I wanted to ask you a question. This is my last question.
Yes.
Because, okay, so I was thinking about one time, because I know how you do like the dating pool roast.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, listening to all your roasts for this past about 8 months now, I'm like, I want to call in, allow you to look at me and roast me and let me know what all I need to improve.
No, I would never do that. I would never do that.
Honestly, when I tell you, that's something, because that's something kind of like what, not even comparing you to Kevin Samuels.
But that's only in fun. That's only in fun. I don't. It's only in fun. When I when I like to give regular advice, I like to give regular advice for real. I'm not this way. I'm only this way because we're on the YouTube and we're having fun and life is so serious. I hate to have serious. I like to have fun. So, I mean, when I want to have a regular serious conversation, nobody's wanted to come to me and have a serious conversation as to what you have. You want to talk about something that's serious. No one's ever really wanted to do that because they fear that I'm going to do what I do on the Dating Roast channel, which is not what I would do. I would never do that.
I actually wanted. I wanted the reason. Well, okay, I would say, how about we don't say roast? How about we say critique?
Critique. Okay. You know what?
I would be calling in because I want to get back into the dating game.
You know, like what? Well, you know what? I think I'm going to put somebody else called me and someone else called me after the show was over and they said, I really wanted your advice on something. You know what? I think I may make up a show and then people can call in. They can either be on camera or not. And they can call in and then say what they need to say or want to say on any given topic, whether it's life or romance or what they want to do or what they want to accomplish. And then I will answer that question. I think I may put that together, you know, because it's not that difficult. I got the phone line. See, I don't want people to call and then they're embarrassed to call or they're embarrassed to be on camera, but they want to call. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So
ask them, do they consent? Just say, do you consent to be on this on the
Right.
camera or
Right.
not? But
well,
I
I
don't
mean,
think they're gonna
I'll
be too
think about it.
embarrassed to call.
I never
Think
really
about
wanted
it,
to
because
dive
I
into
want
it
it
because
from
I don't, because it's a serious topic. People have
Yeah.
issues and things that they want to address, and I hate to have people on camera. That would be a personal thing, but I mean, I
Yeah.
might think of it, and I might test it out like next week, maybe on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and say, hey, if you guys want to call at 4 o'clock or something, and then talk about it, and maybe we can be on camera if you want to. If you don't want to, we can do something else. So
Okay. I mean, I'm
Okay.
down for it. Like I said, because I want to get back into the dating game.
Okay.
And I just really want your opinion.
Okay. All right. Thank
All
you.
right, gorgeous.
Thank you.
All right, love you.
Love
Bye,
you guys.
Chet.
Love you. Who called? Who called? Was it that man I was talking about? That Poppy? That Poppy? You gonna call me back? Well, call me back. Thank you for calling a little bit. But somebody called me while I was talking a little bit. If they want to call me back, you got 10 minutes to call me. Leon, you know what I'm finna say? I apologize. I apologize that you felt as though I was attacking you, and that wasn't what I was doing. I don't want to attack you. Right? I don't want to attack you in any way, shape, or form. That's always out. So I'm just saying, I don't want to attack you. I just want to. I apologize. I'm not even going any further than that. I apologize. Okay. So let's be friends. We're adult enough to be friends. Right? We're adult enough. Okay, little Bettina, thank you for the super chat, the 199 super chat. Thank you so much. And since the person does not want to call me, you saw the number, Poppy Blanco. But we will end the live now. We went past our time, and that's cool because it's Thanksgiving weekend. The grandkids will be over tomorrow, so I didn't have to worry about them this evening. I thank you all for coming out. Hopefully we can have, who's calling me? Who is doing another one? Shut up. It was Poppy Blanco, y'all. So we will talk on Friday. The topic is, I forgot what the topic was, but it'll be out. The topic is on Friday. I may change it. I don't know. But guys, Leon, I apologize. You still, what? Leon, what? Stop it. I'll see you guys on Friday. Love y'all. Love y'all. Leon, you wild.